What a wonderful opportunity and personal delight for me to welcome today's guest for powerful words on Patriot Soapbox, Mr. Dick Morris. We truly respect and appreciate you taking some time, Mr. Morris, to share your insights with our listening audience. Folks, many of you know Dick Morris as an expert political commentator, election specialist, and visiting contributor on Fox News. But few know the prolific writer Mr. Morris has become. Each year, I wait to see the new project that Dick has been engineering, and invariably, like clockwork, out comes another solid publication with intrigue, insight, and clarity. Dick, welcome to Powerful Words. After revealing your work in 2018, 50 Shades of Politics, where you reviewed your long career traversing the spectrum of American politics. Fine work, by the way. Would you like to say anything about this work, or perhaps give the audience a heads up on any current publications or projects you have going?
Sure. Well, I wrote a book, 50 Shades of Politics. And the shade, I mean, it's not just a play on the other title. There's another book by that name that sold a little more than mine did. And other than just the play of words, the journey that I've taken from deep blue to purple to red. And those are the shades of politics. And it's a series of about 100 anecdotes from my political career here and in other countries. And it's kind of fun. Only available online, though. So you have to go to 50 Shades of Politics on Amazon to order it.
Fabulous. Do you have any current projects out or anything in the works?
Well, commenting on what's going on. So just go ahead with your question.
Understood. Folks, having read several of Dick's books, I feel confident in recommending that you look into any of these solid works. As he said, they're available online. I do have some recent favorites, Fleeced, Catastrophe, and Rogue Spooks, The Intelligence War on Donald Trump by Dick Morris and Eileen McGann. These books...
You can kind of trace American history recently through my book title. Start with the book title, Outrage, then go to Fleeced, then go to Catastrophe, then go to Screwed, then go to Revolt, and then go to How Trump can be Hillary.
Wow.
And it's the trajectory of our times.
I hadn't seen that roadmap. That is really useful. These books did catch my eyes because they're so relevant in educating Americans to the truth behind what has been happening in these, quote, conspiracies or the occurrences in the Obama and Trump administrations. Question, Mr. Morris, Dick, do you have a favorite book that you've written? And what about it specifically did you most enjoy?
Yeah, there are two books that are kind of the two that did not make the bestseller list. One is called The New Prince, which is a guide for Machiavelli updated for the 21st century. And I wrote that in 1998. And the other is one I wrote around 2001, called Power Plays, that analyzes 5 different ways of achieving power and gives examples of success and failure in the use of each of those modalities.
Wow, I've seen that. That's a good profile. It's your profile on the cover of that one, correct?
Yeah, right.
Okay. Do you feel a certain sense of duty or patriotism as someone with your political insight and your background? Do you feel a duty to share that with America and the world, or is this just your?
I don't talk about my personal spiritual journey in public much because I don't want to be the poster boy for it. But I went through a tough time at the end of my tenure with personal scandal, and I came out of it a very different person. I was baptized at the age of 50 in 1997, and I came to believe that God gave me certain gifts, and that my job is to try to use them to make democracy work here and abroad. And that's kind of the definition of what I do and why I do it.
Amazing. Well, praise God, I'm a pastor, so that just is particularly relevant to my heart. So are you familiar with the Q movement or the term red pilling? Have you been brought up to date on that?
No. No.
Okay. I'd love to talk with you at another date, but we are part of the Q movement. This group,
Tell me what it is.
it surrounds the president. There's a group called the Q team, which we believe includes the president, and we've been sent. You can view online the messages we've been sent, over 3,500 messages from this Q team that not only analyze the current circumstances, but also predictively announce what's going to be happening. And we believe that there is an organized plan that came together and actually recruited Donald J. Trump to organize efforts against this deep state movement. And you can check it out online at qanon.pub. And it lists all over 3,500 messages, and they're written kind of in a military format, which, me being a prior MI guy, and many of us are familiar with. So it's been very insightful to tell us.
And what's red piling?
A red pilling is actually a reference to the movie Matrix, where the person was given the choice between a blue pill, which would put you back to sleep, and you'd go back into the dream, the quote, the false reality, and the red pill would permanently wake you up to the fact of what's going on. And so the person chooses the red pill in the movie, and that's what it leads to. On to these questions. I know how important your time is, and I want to use it properly. Do you have any thoughts or prognosis on where you think this current wrestling match will end up? And do you have any hope for America going forward? And I know as a Christian, hope is an important word.
Well, I hate to put you out of business, but I can summarize what's going to happen in a very short paragraph. No matter what Trump does well, he's going to be impeached. No matter what Trump does badly, he's going to be acquitted and remain in office. And the only lasting effect of this scandal will be to knock Biden out of the race, because it reveals his corruption in the Ukraine and China. And that's going to nominate Elizabeth Warren. And there's no way on God's green earth that Elizabeth Warren can defeat Donald Trump.
Wow, I love listening to you, because there was no cloudiness there. That was cutting right through it. Do you have some advice for this administration, maybe even for the president, with regard to?
He needs to stop talking about impeachment and start talking more about the good of the country and the programs for the country. He can't be his own defense attorney. He needs to be his own client. And his own client means that he needs to be somebody who goes ahead and works on the good of the country. You know that in my previous life, I was Bill Clinton's chief advisor. And, that famous scene where he came out and said, I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky.
Yes.
Well, that's famous. But the next line was, and that's all I'm going to say on the subject, and I'm going to go back to my office and continue to do the people's work. That second line is what Trump needs to do right now. Say Congress will take up impeachment, that's their job, and he knows the underlying majorities that I just spoke of, and then go back and do important things for the country, be seen doing it, while the Congress and the Democrats are seen as focusing on impeachment. Remember the lesson of 1998. That was the first off-year election since 1934, where the party in power did not lose seats in Congress. Democrats had the White House, and the Republicans did not gain any seats in the Senate and lost 5 seats in the House. Despite the Lewinsky scandal, despite its sordidness, despite impeachment, despite all of that, Clinton actually won that election. And that's what's going to happen in 2020. The Democrats are going to be clobbered because of their overreach in going for impeachment. And the people will say, hey, we elected you, we put you in charge of the House because you said you'd work on drug prices and a host of climate change and a host of other issues. And all you did was try to oust Donald Trump. And that's not why we elected you.
Brilliant.
And I think that Trump needs to let that happen by being the issue-focused juxtaposition to the lynch mob going on in Congress.
Wow. That kind of leads to the next question I had regarding your thoughts on the Democratic Party. I'm curious what you think about them right now.
Well, there's an historical phenomenon, which is that whenever a liberal party is defeated by a conservative party in a major national election, the losing party, the left-wing party, does not move to the center, it moves further left. And you saw that in the U.S. when Reagan beat Carter, and the next two Democratic candidates were Mondale and Dukakis before they got sanity and nominated Clinton. And in Britain, when Thatcher defeated Callahan, the next three Labour candidates were Callahan, Foote, and Kinnock, way over leftists, before they got sanity and nominated Blair. And that tipping is what's happening now. And the reason for it is that the Liberal Party blames moderation for its defeat, because you didn't come out strong enough with your program. And now we're going to come out with true left-wing programs and will undoubtedly win. The other thing that happens is that within the left-wing party, the moderates and the conservatives leave and join the victorious right-wing party. And that leaves only leftists and liberals in the Liberal Party. And they easily win primary fights and move the party to the left. An example of that is that AOC defeating Joe Crowley in Queens. That's an example of that tendency.
You had mentioned previously in the 50 Shades reference your move from blue to purple to red. Can you reflect upon that and what was the catalyst for that?
Well, oddly enough, my discussions with Bill Clinton, well, I have my own personal catalysts, which I've alluded to. But,
Understood.
On an ideological and political plane, when I was working with Clinton as governor of Arkansas, I ran all of his Arkansas campaigns except for the one he lost. And when I was working with him, we would spend a lot of time sitting around talking all night about politics and ideas. And we both thought that the Carter approach of just give away money wasn't working. And we also felt that the Reagan approach, which at the time we saw as ignoring certain problems and not focusing on poor people and all of that, wasn't working. So we came up with the idea of the new contract, the new partnership. It ultimately became called the New Covenant. And by the way, it's funny, until I became a Christian, I didn't realize that was their line.
Yes.
We were in effect stealing that. I didn't know that. But I called it the New Contract. Hillary thought that was too legalistic. So, but the whole idea was, we'll give you opportunity if you take responsibility. We'll give you welfare if you work for it. We'll give you student loans if you agree to work in an underserved area, and we'll forgive those loans. That kind of give and take. And we felt that captured the consensus the country had come to, and we had each come to after watching Carter on the one hand and Reagan on the other.
Some innovation.
And then when he was elected largely on that platform, Clinton betrayed it and moved very far to the left. There were all kinds of reasons for that, basically led by the Democratic majority in Congress. But in any case, he abandoned it and pushed Hillary Care and he pushed tax increases and all of that stuff. And so when he called me to come back in and rescue him from the defeat in 1992, I said, you've got to keep your campaign promise and move back to the center and discuss what a new Democrat is on this contractual formula rather than simply giveaways. And he embraced that. We kind of went back to the future. We went back to the future. We went back in the past to find the future. And he pushed welfare reform and the balanced budget, and I was very integral with that stuff. So in a sense, I was a Democrat, but a conservative Democrat, and I worked on helping a president become a conservative Democrat. And frankly, I would still be a conservative Democrat if it existed, but it doesn't exist anymore. Pelosi and Schumer and the like and Obama have hijacked the Democratic Party and made it unrecognizable. So I'm kind of where Reagan was when he said, I didn't leave the Democratic Party, it left me.
Wow. Wow. So they just removed the rug all along. They didn't just pull it out from people's feet. They just removed it.
Yeah.
My next question was regarding Hillary, but I believe you've already answered that one. If you said Elizabeth Warren will be the nominee for the Democratic Party.
Yeah. I wouldn't rule out the idea of Hillary taking a shot. It's so damn tempting. Once Biden is fully sidetracked, which he will be soon, because when you are a front runner because you're going to win, that is, you're winning because you're going to win, and people are giving you money and votes because they think you're going to win. You can't survive dropping to second place. Once that aura of invincibility wears off, there's nothing underneath to replace it, because you're not getting votes in the first instance because of your positions or your persona. You're getting it because you have a chance to win. And when you don't, you're going to lose that. So once he's out, and Bernie Sanders is out, unfortunately, because of his ill health, you've got nobody else. And it's going to be Warren coasting to this nomination. And I don't think Hillary can resist that. I think she'll feel she has to jump in. But I do not feel she'll be successful. I think that she'll get beaten badly.
Wow. It appears that you're widely respected from both sides of the aisle, which is a rarity these days, especially considering the truth that you tell.
Which is nice of you, but not liked on both sides.
Oh, really? Okay. Well,
in my earlier life, the liberals hated me because I hijacked the president and made him a conservative. That's their view. And then the conservatives hated me because I helped Clinton get elected. So nobody disliked me for the same reason.
Wow. So because you in your current position, you have the ability to speak truth into their dysfunctionality, or do people just? It appears they receive it well. I'm surprised at your ability to span this aisle.
Well, I've seen both parties from the inside, so it gives me a very unique take on some of the issues. For example, on the issue of immigration, I believe that Republicans want illegal immigrants to work because of their type of business, but not to vote. And Democrats want them to vote, but not to work because of the union.
Wow.
And if you look at the immigration debate through that lens, you see that Democrats want citizenship, and they're scared to death that they'll be given legal status without citizenship. And since the illegal immigrants came here to work, not to vote, it would satisfy them, short of what Democrats want to move them. And therefore they resist any compromise, because if they're not splitting the load, it's satisfying the needs without indicating their political agenda.
Wow.
And then on the issue of ballot fraud, I often say the Democrats say they want to increase turnout, but what they really want is to commit ballot fraud. The Republicans say they want to fight ballot fraud, but what they really want to do is decrease turnout.
Wow. Well, I know your time is precious, and I know it's short. I really do thank you for visiting with us today, and I do appreciate your reference to some innovative. This is some innovative thinking, and I think that's customary to your history. You got to read some of Dick's books, and you'll find that innovation throughout.
The other thing you can do is that every single day I take a video called The Lunchable about today's politics. And on this season, I add to it an election alert that comes out a little later in the afternoon. And if you go to DickMorris.com and sign up your e-address, I'll send them to you. I think I have about 300,000 a day, and be happy to send them to you on that list.
Fabulous. I'll do that. You heard that, folks. Here, go to DickMorris.com and sign up for that, and you can have it pushed to your email and get that every day. Again, Dick's books are available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and through Dick's own websites. And additionally, I've found them at the library, Dick, which is comforting.
That's great. Well, thank you for your service in the Marines.
It was
And thank you for the show.
It was a joy and such a pleasure to visit with you. And I pray the Lord's continued blessings over you and your family. And thank you for your time. And you're welcome at Patriot Soapbox all the time. Powerful Words, especially. And I really thank you for giving us this time today. And I appreciate the service you've done, because you really have been integral to for me in providing at least a voice that spans the gap, because it appears everybody's so far off on the spectrums.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Taylor. You take care.
Wonderful day. Okay, folks, that was Dick Morris. We're so grateful for him showing up and giving us the insight of his wisdom. We appreciate anyone who will spare that time and give us the benefit here at Patriot Soapbox. And for those who really want to investigate the ability to span this false aisle that's been developed, please consider looking into any of Mr. Morris's works. There are many, and none of them is a waste of time, you're going to find. So I appreciate you joining us for this interview, and have a wonderful day.